Okay, so let's try a 10-minute video on TikTok and see how it rolls, because I feel like I can do intervals of 3 minutes. However, I might get sidetracked because right even now, as I'm speaking to you, my right middle finger is being grabbed, which is a sign to me that the Democratic Party is attempting to influence your frequency at this time. So most of you probably don't really understand what woke culture really means. Because if you're crying out woke culture, you're actually not woke. Because it takes many, many years of experience and lessons to know what woke actually means. Woke at this time actually means that you are being brainwashed and guided by certain people that want to guide the minds into a certain direction, which is more closed-minded than we've seen in centuries. They're attempting to create a new breed of human called trans. It is normal for some people, and it's a very, very, very small group of people. Small group of people. It's a very small group of people that are actually trans. They were up in heaven. See, in reincarnation lifestyles, you were a boy, and then sometimes you come back as a girl. And then things in your life start showing up, and you relate to that version of who you were in the old life. But you said to God that you wanted to be that trans, which is fine. You can totally, this is where we're at in society, is we're so much more open. We are so much more open in this time frame in society that no one actually really cares that you're trans except for you because of Hollywood. Because of the social media influencers. So the same ones that are trying to tell you, riot the streets and things like that, are the ones that are making you feel that way. You are perfect just as you are. With that being said, the ORGASM, they are attempting to take that out of the circulation for you all. Because if you get into the work of hormonal imbalances, meaning you start taking hormones to change the way you look, you will then recreate that, what happens to you in those moments where you're being intimate with your partner, whether it be a boy or a girl. And so that's another aspect that you want to look at for yourselves when it comes to intercourse, right? So if you're a boy and you're attracted to boy, you may have been a girl in the past life. Societal norms are just keeping law and order in guideline sense because people need a grounding place to reside upon. Okay, you want to really get that. We need a grounded place for society to reside upon, and then we work within the frequencies of staying grounded in who we are as people, so then we can thrive and move forward into our existence. When you have abortion, yes, it should be available to people. However, when people utilize it as birth control or revenge tactics or a pedestal stomping as they bring their children that are infants to the rally, that is abuse. Which then sets a frequency amongst the younger generation, meaning babies are very telepathic. However, you forget all your telepathic spaces because your parents then start to create the societal norms again. You don't have an imaginary friend. Yeah, actually you do. It's a ghost, which you call ghost. And sometimes it's God. And then your parent will tell you not to play with God or the ghost, and then all of a sudden you're in the frequency of the collective consciousness. Now, collective consciousness does not only interact with human on the planet, but it's collective consciousness within our spirit realm, within our alien, universal collective consciousness. Meaning if the masses believe in nasty, negative collective consciousness, the ghosts also experience that too, meaning your angels are tired of fighting it. They're like white flagging it. They're like, we give up. That's because you have been so evil and so toxic. To mind manipulate people while they're in the line at the grocery store says a lot about what voices you're listening to, because the evil people are real and evil exists. And when you leave this planet, you do not become a good person. You don't just go, oh. No, you become the same version, and then you start beating up and battling human beings. That's why you often get the experience of you can't do it. That's why the conversation of self-awareness of you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Mirror work. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. But the affirmations need to come from within, which is to expand from the inside out. But source is your inside out if you're up to good things. And who is your source? That's God, also known as all that is. Then you have your spirit guides. You have yourself. And then your sources for the outside become your community. Not your community, but like your, well, I go to this person when I'm feeling like I need to talk to somebody because they're really good at listening. Or when I want to go to a yoga practice, we may just be yoga friends, but that's the person I go to yoga with, because when we're on the mat, they stay on their mat and I stay on mine. And that's what the examples of source becomes. And if we can create that as a societal norm, the bad guys get put to the wayside. However, what happens for you all is the good people have such a kind, compassionate heart that you start giving compassion to the evil people, which then gives them the upper hand to abuse, violate, and destroy you. And then you still have compassion for them. Meaning it then becomes the battleground of the art of WAR that you have to partake in. Meaning when you speak your truth, when something doesn't feel right inside you, like for example, when you're in an elevator with someone and you're like, there's something wrong with this one. You have your guard up and you're ready to battle. They move close to you, you say, step away. Instead of hovering in the corner and becoming a victim. You always want to be connected to your intuition. And as your intuition would have grown, you would have been able to see that you're also psychic and have special abilities in your own space and your own time. The Democratic Party is responsible for this because they're attempting to transform societal norms. Very much like the World War II psycho bullcrap and the Cold War. Attempting to create new norm through language, through being, through all this weird stuff that does not make sense to what a normal human being would think. A normal mind is what they're trying to break apart. For money and global power, which is why you see all the riots across the globe, and they utilize the virus in attempts to destroy all of us that were up to good things. Meaning the devil, it's more like Beelzebub. This is like worse than the devil. This is worse than the devil. Beelzebub. Now, Beelzebub looks like a social media beauty queen. They take more pride in how they look than actually caring for someone else. There's a whole conversation I could have on this one. They are abusive, they are toxic, and they've mind sirened you into believing they're up to something. And some of you are doing a decent job battling it. And as soon as you say anything to them and against what they're up to, they ream you and they scream at you. And especially the ones in the European sector, they have more land history than Americans. And the Americans technically are the weakest in historical because we haven't been here as long as them. which then gives them the upper hand. However, I'm here.